Iron Stories, Episode 16, Haunt. Welcome back to another episode of Iron Stories. Yeah, where last we have left off, we've after experiencing or after looking around this Underkeep of Spectres above ground, so to speak, Katania left for the big building there and did go underground, and this was basically just the entrance of a mine there. And at the beginning they got a bit lost in there, but they managed to navigate a bit. The mines, especially after Katania took over the investigation here, or the delving here, and was able to procure a safe way out of it with the help a bit of the spirits that still linger here. So it seems to be that this has been a most obviously a long abandoned mine, and she followed the spirits, these visions of spirits that she encounters that seem to be running away from something, and they seem to be running away, hopefully probably upwards back to the surface, which is what you normally want to do when you go out. And so they followed a bit the path that these spirits are showing them. So they moved up and they found a somewhat I would say, like, there is a bigger cave here in this mining structure here. So there's a bigger cave here. Maybe it's natural, maybe it's man-made, and they find there a small building in there as well, which seems to be some sort of like foreman's building or midway point or something like that, where they would meet. And it seems to be safe enough further than anything else. It's still a very unknown area for them, so they didn't grew up, so to speak, in this tunnel, so they don't have an idea. So it's the best thing to just go in there and have a look around, maybe find some clues what is going around here, or not. So they went in there, and that's where we left off last time. So let's continue there. And I had a bit of an idea what to do maybe next. So there more or less idea what to do next, or what maybe some things that they could encounter here and think about here. So the thing is, what they go into this small building, this small office, so to speak, into there. It is built similarly as some of the rest of the structures under here, not necessarily like the buildings up top. The buildings up top are more built out of stone, more elaborate, more long-lasting. This small building seems to be also some sort of building like they may be able to like relocate to some other locations. So when they found out, okay, this mine is now dry, so to speak, that we just go somewhere else, and we need to build an office there, maybe, so we can use deconstruct this small building here and put it somewhere else, just to have a station or a way to interact and control a bit what goes on, etc. So I would say that is happening. That is happening here. So the building itself is made out of the same wooden beams, I would say, as some of the beams that have been put into the mine itself to stabilize the tunnels a bit more. So if you ever seen like these old in westerns, when you see these mines, it's basically similar to that. So there is like wooden beams across and across the ceiling, and then there's two beams that are giving leverage to, or like holding the third beam up top. So like a small frame basically within the tunnel. So and which they're normally made out of wooden beams. Maybe there's like iron brackets that hold them up, but not, I would say not in this case. It just basically like they put in the wooden beams and just added some support beams to these other beams that are going across the ceiling. And they made, with the same beams, they created this small shack, maybe, or yeah, I would say small shackish thing here, where maybe some foreman or taskmaster would have been in there to steer around what's going on next, and control a bit the endeavors within the mine. So they see this building and they move towards it. I would say if there would have been a door here, it would have long been passed down, or maybe it's broken away of its hinges anyway. So they're able to go into it, and they still, or I would say Jebran still moves first and has a torch in hand as well, just to give up some light in this very dark environment anyway. So they go in, and it's a small room. It's not a big building here, but it's still, I would say, like 10 to 10 meters across, or the area is maybe 10 to 10 meters, and it's maybe like 2 meters high. So it's a small roomish. Well, 10 by 10 meters is quite large, I guess. Maybe it's 5 by 5. It's probably best. It's just a small building, but still spacious enough to hold in some tables, some shelves, in here, so they could still have some sort of thing here, but the tables and the shelves seem to be pushed more onto the sides. So the main area of this building is empty. So there's basically like an empty space in the middle of the room, and and along the walls of this room there are some tables and the shelves, and so all, I would say, the books or scrolls that have been laid out here are mostly gone. The paper itself has rotten away way too much. But again, there is the same symbolism and symbols all around this building, around this room. So on the walls, and on the floor itself. So there is, like, I would say, big rooms on the floor itself. So where there is this empty space, there are these runes on the floor. And it seems that this building, this room, hasn't just been used as a way to direct and control the efforts within the mine, but I would say it also has been used as a sort of ritual room. What exactly, they don't know, but it has similar bearings as the one building up above ground, and so there seems to be a link to whatever happened here. So the mine itself probably has been used to gather iron, which is something that goes throughout this world. Iron is a very precious material to have, and wherever you can find iron, you get it. Normally it's up in the mountains where you get the most iron, just because the mountains are probably have a higher concentration of iron. But whenever there's like a hill or something like that, they still try to find iron veins. But this here has been used too much. Well, there has been going on, and Jebran could have seen that, and Katania as well, as they were traveling within the mines, or as they, I think, even where they're above, that there definitely sign of iron be here. And I think he could also see in the walls that they have speckles of iron oxide or of iron in the walls itself. So there is sign here that this has been an iron mine, but it has been maybe also used to something else. So maybe at some point in time, the mine got control, or somebody else got control over the mine and used it, and used the mining operation for something else. But they don't know that. They just go into this room and they see, as I say, these symbols again on the floor, and shelves and tables all around. And I mean, apart from the scrolls and the paper that is lying around that has been rotten away throughout the years and years that they were been here, there is also there is also, like, in the shelves, flasks and pots of different material in here, which seems to be maybe some alchemical ingredients. Of course, neither Jebran or Katania have any idea how about any part of alchemy, so that they wouldn't know that much about it, specifically not too much about it. But as they enter the room, and it seems to be some sort of a safe place, or they gather it's for the moment it's a good thing to maybe get a short breath. They could basically barricade the doors. So it may have fallen off the hinges, but they could just barricade it just to get a bit of if there would be something that follows them, they could just hide in here, which is also maybe not that great of an idea to just go into an enclosed space, but at least they have a wall between it and themselves. So they're happy to go in here, but as soon as they enter, Jebran just sees the symbols on the floor again, and he has again flashbacks to the island again, basically where they were followed by these things, and the bear that has had iron in these things, and which is also something that he saw on the children up above in the Underkeep. And he is definitely not I mean, he's not really enthusiastic, I would say, about that. I mean, just seeing something like that, yeah, he doesn't like that, and he's urging Katania just to take a short breather here. He doesn't want to be too long in this place. It's just too he definitely doesn't like it. And Jebran begins to he formulates a plan in his mind. So he circumcises whatever if there's something here. I mean, the villagers, they have heard this wailing and this thing. That's why they said there's maybe something haunting this place, and also seeing that the dead children, the dead kids. He surmises if there's something in this place, it's probably coming from the mines. When they inspected the Underkeep up top, he couldn't see, or he couldn't find anything that would see, well, apart from maybe from animal tracks, from wild animal tracks, which, I mean, it's still a wild world, so there's probably gonna be wild animals everywhere, so it's not something very unusual there. But there seems to be something unusual about this place, and whatever it is, it's probably coming from the mines. So his idea is to, or he thinks, well, probably the best thing is, to keep, and one way to keep this thing away is to keep whatever it is in here. So, okay, this is a mine. Let's just forget about the mine. The mine is lost. Whatever it is, it could live whatever he wants and however long he wants to, as long as it doesn't get out. So let's just somehow keep the thing in. And his idea that he formulates in the mind, the only way he could see that this thing could escape at the moment, is from the big building up above. So this is the entrance to the mines. So if he somehow can close this entrance for good, or maybe just more or less for temporary, and then the villagers could make it more permanent when it's a bit safer for them to get here, the problem should be solved, and the problem should also be fine for the villagers itself. So he goes around a bit to these flasks and pots, and stuff, and he starts to search for something explosive. I don't know how far-fetched it is to guess something about to explosives, but I mean, black powder has been around a long time, so it's probably not too far-fetched to say that Jebran is looking around for something black powdery or something explosive around to basically collapse the building itself to close off the entrance. And I would also say, well, I would say this depends a bit on the role. I would say if he is able to find it, he can also maybe use a bit his wisdom to see that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, being a sailor, mostly a sailor, where they maybe also had cannons, he would be familiar, I would say, with black powder, with explosives, because it's basically what they use on ships to get the cannonballs going. So I would say he is familiar with black powder. He knows what the stuff looks like. He doesn't know if anything is in here, or if there maybe is stuff to make black powder here around here, and if there is enough black powder specifically, because I mean I would say like there's a double door up, and there's the building that he needs to collapse, so he probably needs quite a bit of black powder. So it's maybe not the easiest thing to do, and as remember, the building up top just basically has is the entrance to several other entrances down to the mines. So it's probably, if it just closes off one tunnel, there's probably 2 or 3 other tunnels, so he needs to block off the building up top. But he guesses maybe this building is unstable enough to just like to if he could just get the supporting structure a bit off, it would just collapse in itself. If he could just give a big enough start, so to say, for it. So there isn't problem that extremely a lot of black powder needed, but probably still a bit. So now it's a question. It could either be check your gear, but I think it's gather information. So I would say he searches that area a bit. The question is if I add +1 just to say, as I said, he should be familiar with black powder, but again, he doesn't know if there's any around, and he doesn't know if there's enough rounds. I would say it's just that. Oh dear. So I rolled 2 8s here and a 5. So I fail, and it is a complication as well. The investigation order is a dire threat or reason unwelcome through that undermines your quest. Okay. And then pay the price. That is not good. Yeah. So Jebran is starting to look around for black powder, and he's telling us, Katania, so okay, I have enough of this. There's just it's just too spooky for him here. And he conveys this information that whatever is in here, he needs to be contained. He needs to be entrapped in here. So come on, help me to find some black powder, some explosives, and just start to search around. And they also knock over some of the things. I would say it makes a bit of ruckus, not that much, but still there's enough. And then at one point in their adventure or in their search, they could hear this loud eerie this eerie terrific wail that is like echoing through the tunnels. So this is this screeching, wailing sound that starts somewhere down through the tunnels, and it gets louder and louder as it basically just rushes through the tunnels. And within the tunnels, whenever there is like a bit of a bigger open space or a small cave in between, the sound bounces off and starts to echo, and the echo is adding to this wail, to this high pitched sound that is going through the tunnels and reaching their things. And the wail starts to begin, or there's like it seems to be like impulses going through. So and they're becoming it takes a shorter and shorter amount of time before it reaches them. So whatever it is coming towards them. It's starting to get to them. And Jebran and Katania, or basically more or less Jebran, is thinking, or is saying to Katania, okay, stop here. I don't think we have enough time. We need to press on forwards. Let's see, maybe we can find some or another way to break down or to bring down the entrance. If we didn't find any black powder, if we didn't find any explosives yet, I don't think there is any amount of time before this thing reaches us that we were able to find something like that, and then escape, and then do whatever. So it's better to get a head start here, to get ahead and to formulate a plan on the go. So yeah, let's just leave. And it's also probably whatever this thing is, it's the thing that the villagers have heard. This wailing sound could be mistaken for something haunting. I mean, they don't know exactly what it is, and it's maybe also the thing that drove the miners, the spirits that they saw, away. That's from what they fled. But he doesn't want to. He definitely doesn't want to he doesn't want to find out what it is exactly. He'd rather just go. It doesn't make sense to let's just go here. Let's stop this endeavor here and let's go. So both of them, I would say, are starting to get out. So I would say at this point they decide to flee, to withdraw from here. I mean, they still have to, and I think that's what it makes probably difficult, is to find the difficulty is here finding a way out. They could rely on Katania's intuition again to get out of here just by following the spirits, or they could use just pure quickness and just go. I mean, they've traveled a path here already, and Jebran begins maybe to get some sort of sense to find out what happens here. So I would say this is a 50-50 chance here. I'd say let's roll it for a 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance. Yeah, so let's see. How does this work again? I think there's this ask the oracle thingy here. So it's a 50-50. 51 or greater is I would say is Katania leads, and otherwise it's Jebran that leads. I rolled a 99. Okay, so that means that Katania is leading. So she is leading with so she leans into the spirit sides and uses the spirit and letting the spirits dictate her movement, or basically leading the way for her. So she is using that. So the question is, I don't think it's edge here. It's not the quickest way around. It could also either be plus hard or plus wits, because she is using her spirit bond, so to speak. I would say, because I think the keen and the spirit bound works, I think, up from heart. That I would say that that she uses plus hard here. So she's using the spirits, basically, which is a horror within the thing here, to guide her out. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Nice. So I rolled an 8 on the challenge dice. Both are 5. So it's basically just the inverse I just had, which is nice. So this is an opportunity and a strong hit as well. So they are able. So again, and I get momentum here. So Katania leans into the spirits. She again, because she already had these visions of the fleeing people, that also led them here, maybe as some sort of witnessing the horrors that have gone on here, to just tell them, or to basically just tell their story to via visions to whoever would listen. And they found in Katania a vessel that would listen, or at least would see them. She probably wouldn't. She doesn't maybe completely understand it, but at least the spirits are able to tell their story. And so they told the story here, that they maybe found something down there, or that maybe something was created down here. There's maybe this symbols, this room here is part of some sort of ritual that maybe did rise something. So whatever it is, they have fled. So this is what these spirits are telling them. And now that they have told their stories, the spirits seem to be guiding them. Upwards. Upwards back to where they began, or where they entered the mines, where they entered the tunnels. And they seem to be able to, for the moment, outrun whatever is down here. They could still hear, so with every step they make, they could still hear the wailing and this eerie sound echoing through the tunnels, getting to their ears, maybe also a bit discouraging them. But the spirits seem to be helping Katania as well to shield off maybe a bit from this horror, to just guide her and with her Jebran out of this thing. So they are able to get out of it, and they could see where they could feel and hear also a bit the wailing sound, like. As I said, the sound has an impulse, or so in regular intervals, this wailing sound would come, and by getting shorter, they would know, or basically the intervals, when it came shorter, they would know that it came towards them. So if the intervals are still regular, because the sound needs to travel upwards, and if it becomes quicker, then the sound has to travel less things, more or less. It's not entirely scientific, but let's keep it at that. So they would know that it becomes louder or becomes clearer, and at some point it became very regular, so they would know, okay, whatever distance we have between it and us, it's constant, and at some point it began to elongate again, so they would know, okay, we are getting ahead of it, so it seems to slow down, so either because it stops chasing us, or we were able to gain an advantage over it. Maybe we are a bit quicker in moving around, and since we're able to find a path quicker here, we're maybe to get an advantage out of it, to get ahead from it. And so they would feel that. So at some point they got back to the main hall of the Underkeep of Spectres. This entrance hall is this big room where there were like 2-3 entrances to the mines down below, and they get out. And so they're quite happy, and Jebran is to some parts happy, to some parts a bit well, not enraged, but he is a bit angry, mad at Katania, because of her they ended up in the tunnels, they ended up in the mine, so he's a bit mad because of her, but he's also relieved to know a bit better what to tell the villagers, apart from saying that their kids have died, and to be out of here. Katania helped them to get out of here. And I would say, for as opportunity, what Jebran could see here is that maybe even at the sort of at the front of the entrance, he could see that there is like a bigger beam, or there's maybe like 2 pillars even going up into the structure, which is basically where it's constructed against the hill. So this building has been partially built into the hill. So there's of course the complete hill on top of it that's pressing down onto this building. That is mostly made out of stone, but still it's hollow inside, so it's not structurally intact. So there's like, they constructed like pillars at the front of the entrance, similar to like in the mines, in the tunnels of the mines, where they have a beam that goes across the top and then has 2 beams as a support. There's like these 2 pillars here, kind of landing supports for the entrance, for the entrance part of the building. So basically, there is like an entrance part of the building, and then this maybe some sort of open cave that they just used as a base of operations. So Jebran sees here an opportunity and says, okay, I couldn't find any explosives here, but this would have made a really great opportunity to explode these pillars. But just looking at them, he could say, well, just giving them, because I would say they're even built out of wood, similar as the wooden beams down below. They're still quite bunchy, but over the years and time, they've become more brittle, I would say. And he says, we were lucky to even get in here. That it didn't collapse out on us when we entered here. We were lucky because of that. So maybe by just giving it some wax against it, the entrance, the building would collapse in itself, and the hill would hopefully cover the entrance. So to finish up his plan, to finish up his idea to whatever is down here, to keep it down here. And so they rush out of the tunnels, rush to the entrance, rush to the big double door, and Jebran tells Katania to wait outside. He is going to try to destabilize the entrance, to collapse it in itself. And if he wouldn't make it out, at least she would be there to go back to the villagers and say, now it's safe and the children are dead. And Katania is a little bit doesn't like this plan. So let me help you. And said, no. Jebran says, no, you keep outside. And he gets a little bit with his angry voice in it. And he basically also expresses his anger by saying, it's because of you we are in this mess. So it's best you stay away here to not make it bigger. And Katania knows better when to step away when Jebran is angry, or when Jebran, and she maybe also feels a bit guilty because some of the words are true, because she just wandered off and put them into danger of whatever this being is. Maybe if they wouldn't have gone to the mines, this being, this thing, wouldn't have gone to them. On the other hand, again, now they know that there's something down there that probably produced this haunting feeling, or this thing here. that the villagers feared. So she's a bit thing here, and at some point Jebran pushes her out the door, and starts wailing against the one of the pillars, and he as he's hacking with his axe into the wood, there's splinters coming out, and he can hear the wailing sound of this thing that's coming out getting louder and louder again. So it seems to be coming at them again. So he's hacking into there. So let's make a I would say this is face danger. It's attempting something risky here. But it's using iron from Jebran. Gives a weak hit. You succeed but face a troublesome cost, which makes probably which makes total sense. So Jebran begins to hack into this pillar, hack, and it still takes some time. As I said, even though the pillar is quite old, and it still has a quite considerable amount of diameter, so it's still quite a large pillar here that it has to cut through, or I mean at least to cut somewhat through, just to get to it to make maybe some sort of structural harm. But he can hear as he's hitting the pillar, he can hear cracks or the crackling of the wood. Not only where the wood splinters from his forceful hacking into it, it's also like this cracking thing sound, because more and more weight is put onto a spot that's getting smaller and smaller. So you can hear that the structural integrity of this pillar begins to fall, and there's like also some cracks that go up along that just on the whole length of the pillar begin to form, and it's way upwards. So there's like a big crack that gets bigger and bigger and wider that makes its way upwards the whole building, the whole length of the shaft of the pillar. And he can feel that whatever is in here, or that the structure is getting more and more it's getting more and more structurally unsound. So it begins more and more to crack, more and more to be destabilized. And as he's hacking there, he's maybe at it like 1-2 minutes, and at that time he could see from where they also exited the mine shafts, he could see this creature coming out. He is it's like similar, no, not similar, but maybe not similar to the ones I've seen on Iceland. They were just like zombie-like things here. This one seems to be more fierce, more maybe also a bit more in control of its wits and balls within his head. So it's maybe a bit also more intelligent, not zombie-like structure here. But it's similar to, but I mean, you don't know it, but we know it from the story, is what Kaivan saw in the tomb. So there's this, it's not the same, but it's something similar. So it's like this a creature which seems to be at some point was a human being, was an Ironlander. But the flesh has become this pale gray, the eyes completely black. It has just from over the years and years, the fingernails and nails have become these claw-like structures. And as he's getting up out of sight, he can see on the other side Jebran hacking against the pillar. And even though in his black eyes, Jebran swears later in all whenever he would tell this story, or he would tell this story, he would swear that he could sense some sort of fear, or like to see, that there's something. It's fearful of knowing when he succeeds or when Jebran succeeds, he will probably not be able to escape his lair. So again, he begins to cry out this horrifying howl again, this horrifying wail again that I heard, but it's now much more clear, much more, and it's resounding within this big hole. And Jebran is like just from this wail that's normally like very disheartening, and but he tries to shrug it off. He's still hacking into the pillar, and he's just it's just last few seconds that he needed, and this big crack that has formed and did go upwards the pillar now is in just like at one point just goes up and gets wide and wider and wider, and begins the pillar just collapses or just breaks into itself, and you could see it, the first few drops of loose stone that come down, and he's just able to get out, and this creature with the hole just begins to sprint towards him. There's still quite a distance between him and Jebran, but you could see he is fearful and he wants to get out as well as to not be imprisoned here, which was the plan of Jebran on itself. But Jebran was still able to get out of it. And at the last moment, when this building within the hill begins to collapse in itself, he's able to jump out of the way and out of the building in front of the Underkeep, and begins to run towards the breach in the wall that they saw, just because behind them, and now Katania is walking as well, or running as well, behind them the whole hill begins to collapse in itself. This building that was there to just basically give a bit of stabilization in the hill just collapses under all the weight of the hill itself, and everything moves again, and there's like a small avalanche of rock and mud coming down, and as Jebran is sprinting out of it, again he can hear a last howl, a last wail coming from the creature inside that just gets muffled by the falling rocks and debris and dust coming from above, and at some point it is quiet after all this, or it's muffled up from it, and then after everything has settled down, it is quiet and calm. Jebran didn't get out unscathed from this. He took a bit of damage from all the falling debris and stuff that got to him, but I mean it's at least it's not that bad. So he took one harm, basically. so he took a bit of health as the whole hill collapses on itself, and there's like some stone debris that's thrown down, and some of it just scrapped him and also hit him maybe in the head, and so he falls over, and Katania helps him get up, and he's a little bit groggy, but he's managing getting out of there just fine enough. But it's still nerve-wracking whatever was in there. But I would say this marks again a point in the quest of their hunt. So they were able to find out what there was. So there's some creatures living in there that seems now to be, at least for now, to be buried under the rubble of the once entrance of this building. So for now, it's probably safest as possible. This so as I said, Jebran is quite shaken here, and maybe the night also begins to fall again. I mean, they have spent some time within the mines and up here. I think I said it somewhere around evening or midday when they started to get down. So I think at this point, Katania says it's probably best to make camp, and we go back to this one building where we camped before. Whatever was inside there it's I think we should be fine for now. But still, let's make a moment here. So she begins to build up a camp. And also, so it's a miss, but I can burn momentum to make it a strong hit, which I will do. So she is trying to calm Jebran down, and also, I mean, there's adrenaline pumping in his blood currently just from the collapsing building, running away from this thing, and also getting hit by debris. And there's like an open wound on the back of his head where a stone has hit him, and Katania is trying to bring everything down, and she's also like just from the spirits she is shaken down. So she begins to make camp, to make something of an anchor to get them back to normalcy, to the ground, to ground themselves again back in. So and to also like help Jebran back to nurse him back to health. Well, not that much, but well, at least something. So I would say so it's a strong hit. So you and your allies may choose 2, so I can do a lot of things. So I would say Jebran heals back up his health that he just lost. He just like makes a tourniquet or whatever. And I would also say he also prepares for the coming day. So he gets +1 on the next day for if they undertake a journey, and they have to undertake the journey to get back. And I would say as well that Katania gets a little bit of focus back, takes 1 momentum, and also takes +1, prepares for the next day. So they make camp here, they relax a bit. They try to, I mean, the bleeding is not that big that they are able to stop it quite quickly, or it clots itself. But it just like clean it a bit with water so it doesn't get infected as well, and put in some herbs and stuff to get it to help it clean. And they bed down for the evening, and I would even say there's like it's an eerie quiet that helps them sleep even after all the adrenaline and excitement that they had. So it seems to be that sleep comes to them easily, and sleep is granted to them somehow as well, even though there's a creature just a few meters from them, and there's just a wall of rock that is keeping it from them, but they seem to be able still to get rest and prepare themselves and steel themselves for the next day. And I say probably this is a good spot again to stop or break the episode again. Yeah, quite interesting, this seeing what they encountered in the mines. Quite interesting that now to see. They will probably get back in the next episode. Let's see, and they will probably maybe also go to somewhere else and to see what are the future adventures of Jebran and Katania. We will see. So I'm hoping that you will be joining as well in the next episode. Until then, we hear us.